Boom. How long do you run an ad before shutting it off? That all depends on kind of what your results are with that ad, Shauna. If you're not, I would say like I wouldn't run it for any more than 48 hours without shutting it off. If it's not doing anything after 48 hours, shut it off. Some people like Cody, sometimes even Jang, they'll say like 24 hours max, and then they'll shut her down if it's not getting anything. So, but for me, sometimes I'll do the 24-hour thing, and sometimes that's fine. But sometimes I'll leave it run for 48 hours, and sometimes I've had ads that have done nothing in 24 hours, and then they've started getting some results after 48 hours. So um, it's kind of depends on your ad budget as well. You don't want to be spending a bunch of money if it's not doing fuck all. But if you're not getting anything, like if when I say results, I'm talking like if you're going for post engagement and you want some post comments, then if you're not getting any post comments after 48 hours, then sure. If you're going for conversions and you're waiting, to get some leads, if you're going 48 hours with no leads, then definitely shut it off. But if you're running for post engagement and looking for comments and you're getting like nobody's liking it, nobody's commenting at all, nobody's sharing it, nothing, and yet you're only at 24 hours, then I would still shut it off in 24 hours or try something new. Uh, um, when I started, just read the question. How often are you personally filming new ads? How often do you put new ones out? So when I started, I was doing my own ads like rarely. Like I was running like one ad video for like 3 months or more. And then after that one kind of dried out, I'd start with a new one. Also, most of the things I was saying in the ad video weren't relevant anymore after 3 months, right? Because it would be like, hey, I've been doing this for 5 months, when at that point in time I'd be doing it for 8 months or whatever, right? So sometimes you need to switch them up. Now I try and get a new one out like maybe once a month, and I still think that's not even. I think that's still kind of slacking on the ads, because usually I'll try, but usually I can get some results out of one ad enough so that I can kind of leave it run for a while. But I know lots of people, if you're doing picture ads, like you might as well be doing a different picture ad all the time, right? To try and get something better that works. But if you're shooting a video, then it's a little bit harder, I guess. But it totally depends on kind of how comfortable you are with it and everything like that. If you're running conversion ads, or if you're running picture ads or story ads, and the more the better. It doesn't hurt to shoot more ad videos and get more comfortable. It doesn't hurt to pump out more ads, and even if they're picture ads, it's just it only increases the probability of you getting one of those ads that just like takes right off, right? The more you try, the more better, or the better the chances are, right? So I would be shooting new ad videos, or thinking of new ad copy, or trying new picture ads all the time. Like, I mean, I can't. I think Cody's doing a new ad every single day right now for Erik Karlsson. So even if he did a new one a week, I think that would be pretty beneficial. I'm still not up running ads, so hopefully I'm going to start my like campaign tomorrow. So that's going to be another week before I actually start running ads again. So I can't really test anything for you guys right at the moment, but just hang tight. I'll be able to do that here very shortly. And I'm going to run a lot of ads too once I get my ad account back. I just got to be careful with it so they don't shut me down for spending too much money right away, which is, I know it's ridiculous. You think they just want you to spend as much money as possible. But Chris, what's up, bud? Do you ever try another one down the road and that maybe didn't do well in the past? No, I don't think I've never ran another video again down the road that hasn't done well in the past. Like I said, by the time it gets to the point where I think about running it again, a lot of the things that I've said in the video don't make sense anymore. They're not true anymore, because a lot of other things have happened, or like from the time I started from to that point is not always the same. But that's just what I do personally. If it didn't work, it's time to move on. Like, don't get attached. Don't get attached to your ads, right? Sometimes you might have thought you had the best ad ever, and you're really stoked about it, and it doesn't really do well. Just try to be completely detached from any of that. Um, it's all a numbers game, really. If it doesn't do well, move on. Do another one. Sometimes it sucks if you shoot a video, and that's why, I mean, when it comes to like these videos that are a big kind of production and things like that, I don't know, like I've never done one that's been anything crazy, never. I know guys like Brian and them and Jang, obviously they'll do some pretty significant editing and things like that, and they have people doing it for them now. But um, they're pretty confident now at this point in time with running ads and things like that they're going to get results, and they do, right? So but it sucks when you do, like, you make an ad and you put all this work and time into it, and then it doesn't do well. It's really hard to shut it off. Like, you don't want to shut it off, even if you're just in denial and you're like, no, this ad is going to work. You'll end up spending a lot of money trying to get some results out of the ad. Sometimes they never come, or you get the ad shut down, and you can't run the video anyway. So that kind of sucks. I mean, I'm not saying if you guys are really into shooting good at like ad content, as far as when it comes to editing and doing all of that stuff and going above and beyond, I don't discourage that. If that's something you like to do, then go at it. But in my opinion, if you're going to spend 6 hours editing a video so it's perfect, you should be just shooting like 6 different videos and spending an hour on each. I think that you would get a lot better results out of that. And down the road, you have some more money to spend on ads and things like that, and you're at a lot less of a risk to get shut down, and you have Facebook advertising dialed in a little better, then by all means. I've yet to do one yet, and it's been, like I said, over a year. So I talk about it all the time, but I'd sooner pay someone to do the editing for me. But one day we'll get there. Do you ever? I got 62 cent cost per lead, but I got only one lead and dead after that, like almost 48 hours. Doing split testing, nothing really helped me. 1, 2, 3 leads per ad, and that's it. Any ideas for doing split testing? It's maybe a problem for running ads only day or two. Should I run more time? No, don't run more time. If you got a lead for 62 cents right off the bat, and then nothing else, then it was probably just a lucky lead. That'll happen sometimes. If you're not getting anything after that for 48 hours, no leads, then definitely shut it off. Any ideas for doing split testing? Yeah. Do you watch the Tuesday webinars? They talk about split, they beat it to death. But yeah, so for split testing, I don't know what kind of ad you're running right now for split testing. I said this, I think, the last couple times, but what Jang does anyways, which I was starting to test before I got shut down, was to just try one age category that usually works decent. For him, he was using like 22 to 34 and 22 to 44, I think it was. And then he would run only those 2 age groups, and he would try like 5 different ad copies with the same ad. And then right after that, he would find out what the best ad copy was. And then he would run that ad copy with 5 different ads, like 5 different pictures, let's say, or 5 different videos. And then he would find that. And then he would start, tweaking interests or age, or trying out the age or gender. But he'd typically leave the age where it was, and just kind of get the ad copy. And Jang figures that the ad copy and the actual ad video or picture is kind of the most important. So and even, I mean, Cody will say, like, if your ad's really good, you'll get results no matter what you put in for an age or interest or anything like that. So try that. Like I said, I can't really test that for you guys right at the moment, but that's exactly what I'm going to do as soon as I get my ad account back running. Um, what Brian does is, instead of doing this, you see, this is a different approach. There's not only just one approach that works. So what Brian does is he'll have one ad. So he'll have one ad in the one ad copy and the one video or picture that he's using, and then he'll just he'll try like ages 22 to 23. Then he'll do everything the exact same. He'll do 23 to 24, 24 to 25, 25 to 26, 26 to 27, all the way up to like 44. So then, I mean, it's a lot of ads to run. So unless you have a big ads budget, I wouldn't recommend doing that. But that's another thing I was going to test before my ad account got shut down. I was testing that as my ad got shut down, my ad account. But that's another thing I'll do. So fortunately, I can't tell you what kind of results I'm going to get out of that now yet for another at least a week and a half. But those are two things to try. First thing I would recommend trying is trying the ad copy and or split testing your ad copy and your ad itself. If you've been running ads for a bit now, you should have a bit of an idea of what age ranges usually work best for you. They're usually pretty similar. Like I said, I usually would run like 24 or 22 at the youngest. People that were younger than 22 usually don't have any credit developed or anything like that. They're established, and lots of times they haven't. They're less likely to have a really good career, I guess, at that point in time. So I would never go that young. I'd do like 24 to 38, 24 to 40 kind of thing was always what worked best for me, somewhere around there. So do that. Try a different ad copy. Try a story ad. Try something shorter. And just kind of take different angles. If you're going to use picture ads, they'll usually do something that somewhat relates to the picture ad or video. That usually works. If you see ads floating around and you're looking for ideas, check out Eric Carlson's page. Start following Eric Carlson. If you see him pop up, save the post. It's a little thing on the top right. You can click it and go save post on Facebook. Save it and read it and take notes on it, right? And just do something similar. Cody Harris is writing all of those. And they're usually pretty good. I even seen that he's starting to add in the $99, the $99 per month fee. He'll put it right in the ad copy. That's another thing that I was going to start trying. I'm going to do that as well. I think Alicia is going to start doing that possibly. It's you might not get your cost per lead might be a little higher. You might get a little less comments, but the people that do comment and the people that do actually register for the webinar are going to be a lot better quality, and the chances of them actually going through with it are going to be a lot higher, right? So Grant Cardone has a totally different strategy than Gaz as far as follow-up. What do you think about this? I'm not sure what you mean exactly, Shauna. Grant Cardone has a totally different strategy. What's Grant Cardone's strategy for follow-up? And what's Gaz's strategy for follow-up? Do you mean the automated follow-up, or do you mean like what the training tells you to do? What is the protocol for shutting ads down on the weekends? Because it seems that they really drop off on the weekends where you get flagged for shutting down an ad before the weekend and then running it back on Monday. Yeah, that's kind of a part, like you just need to kind of suck it up for the weekend. Lots of people don't even start running ads on the weekend when they create a new ad. So yeah, that's totally up to you. Like for me, I would recommend, if you're going to start running ads, to start them on either Sunday or Monday. They usually do take a dip on the weekends, on Friday or Saturday especially. But if you shut your ad down and you start it back up, it's not going to get the same results as it was getting prior. It's basically starting from scratch, and anything that it's kind of that Facebook has dialed in for your pixel and stuff, and the audience it's kind of found, the whole algorithm gets fucked. So it's not going to be the same. It will sometimes, but that would just be kind of getting lucky, I guess. Most of the time, you're not going to get the same results. So I would leave it running. You might have to go through Saturday and not get the kind of results that you're getting prior to that, but that's just kind of part of it. You'd be worse off. I'd say to shut it off. I never shut mine off on the weekends, even if they do worse. Uh, 10 times, guys, no follow up. If they don't respond, you don't chase them at all. I wouldn't say that's um, I wouldn't say that's a Gaz recommendation. I'd say that's a Cody recommendation. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I would recommend following up them. Brian always taught us to follow up with our leads and shit like that. Like, obviously, I don't know what they say and what Grant Cardone says. Grant Cardone is probably a pretty damn good closer on the phone and things like that. So, his results following up 10 times might be a hell of a lot better than most of us in here. But following up 0, I wouldn't do that. Lots of people will follow up 0 times. Like even sometimes with me, I won't follow up just because I'll either forget or it's just I don't have the time. It's just like I'd rather focus on the other people messaging me. But following up doesn't hurt. If you're gonna if you even have like, I recommend too, if you're sending even the $99 direct checkout link to people, write their name down right away, so you know who you sent it to. If there's people that claim they're gonna watch the webinar, watch GoPro by Eric Worre. He talks about, or listen to it, the audiobook, or read the book. He talks about a lot of good strategies on making sure people actually watch your webinar, things like that. Some strategies to use. So it's a good thing to read or listen to. It's called GoPro by Eric Worre, and he basically talks about following up with people. And he says, when's a good time for? When's a good day? We have them on Monday and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then, they can, as soon as they say, okay, yeah, that works, be like, hey, I'll send you the webinar. When would be a good time for me to follow up with you, kind of thing? Can I follow, or do you have time to watch it on Thursday night? And if they say, yeah, then be like, can I follow up with you on Friday morning and see how it went? And then it makes them, commit to it. If they say they're going to watch it, I would always still send them a, send them a message, after the webinar and be like, or even 2 days after, just being like, hey, it's so-and-so here. I just wanted to follow up with you and see how the webinar was, or see how you, what you liked about the webinar. And then they'll either be like, usually they'll reply to you and they'll be like, oh, sorry, I didn't have time to watch it. I'm going to watch it this time. And sometimes the people will just make up every excuse in the book and they'll never, ever watch it. So I would follow up with them like 3 times max. I wouldn't follow up with them any more than that. If it's a $99 buy button, I'd follow up with them a couple times. And then, one strategy I would use would be like, hey, I'm just going through my list and just doing some final follow-ups with people that were looking to get started. Then be like, yeah, I just wanted to check in. If you're no longer interested, is it cool if I just take you off my list here? So I'll quit bothering you. And then some people will be like, oh shit, he's gonna take me off the list. Yeah, no, sorry, man, I've been busy. Boom, and then they'll sign up. Or some people will be like, yeah, sorry, like I don't think this is gonna work out. You can take me off the list, and you don't have to follow up with them anymore after that, right? A couple things to try. Yeah, I don't know where I'm at here. Yeah, I slowed down on ad action over the weekend, but ours picked back up. Yeah, Patch, that seems to happen all the time. So it's just kind of, people aren't as active, or they're doing shit, or lots of people when they're at work, they're scrolling through Facebook half the time. So that's probably why. That could be another reason. And yeah, obviously people are busy on the weekends, so pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, and like as far as Cody's like split testing and things like that go, I think it's all pretty damn good info. As far as how he goes through his whole call process and things like that, it's not something I would like take to heart. He's no Brian or anything on the phone. So all due respect, I mean, Cody's awesome and he knows his shit, but I wouldn't take every word he says. Like everybody's different, right? So what Cody says isn't going to work for you. Lots of times you got to find what works best for you. What Brian does is different than what Cody does on the phone too, right? Brian follows up. And Brian, has a hell of a lot more success with phone calls and things like that and that side of things than Cody has. So I'm going with Brian on this one. But and myself as well. I've had good results following up with people. So, and so has Alicia, a ton of results, or good results following up with people as well. So I would definitely do that, especially if you're starting out. You got the time, follow up with people. Fuck yeah, what's the worst they can say? If they quit talking to you or they tell you to fuck off, then whatever. But you have the time to do it, so do it. Yeah, I suggest people read GoPro by Eric Worre, or at least listen to the audiobook. I listened to the audiobook while I was driving, which I actually kind of preferred. Some books, it just seems like the audios are better. Depends on how the style is and everything like that. For that one, I think I never read the book, but I like the audio. What time worked best for ads? For me, I found best around 12 a.m. for ads. Is that a good time? It's different, man. It's totally different. Depends where you're running your ads to, right? It depends. Depends what time zone you're running them to and all that. I wouldn't say there's any specific time. Obviously, if you're running them strictly in Canada, the best time's not going to be at fucking 3 a.m. or anything like that. But I've never had one time that was, distinctly better than others. I guess like I said, it depends where you're at. If you're in Toronto, if you're in Newfoundland and you're running your ads, probably 10 a.m. is going to be better there than it is in BC, because then it's going to be like whatever 5:30 a.m. if that makes sense. When you're targeting oil field, do you get specific and creative with interest pertaining to the oil field, or do you just target oil field? I used to target like the first ads I ran, I had like, this is before I knew what I was doing at all. I had, no joke, like 10 interests on there. It was like electricians, instrument techs, pipe fitters, fucking welders. What else was I doing? All that stuff. And then I would even go to like the drilling side. I'd be like drilling rigs, and then I'd put oil and gas and petroleum and natural gas and fucking SAGD and all this stuff. And it was just, now that would never work ever. I mean, you can try it out, but I bet you it's not going to work too well for you. Like I said, first of all, when I mean by targeting, I now more so when I target oil field guys is my ad copy or my video talks about my experience in the oil field a lot. So that's how I target the oil field guys. So when I would, so like I was saying about testing different ad copy and different ads, I would do that first with no interest. They could all be directed towards the oil field, but I would take a different angle on things. Like I recently did an ad with Alicia talking about, how I'd seen so many relationships fail while working in the oil field, and never being home and not being able to hang out with my girlfriend. And now I get to spend all this time together and all this stuff. So that was one angle. And then I've had other times where I've done my ad copy and it's like, all it talks about is, how I was going to work. I was working 12, 14-hour days, working my ass off nonstop and making good money, but not having time to spend it. So that was a bit of a different angle. There's only things like that, or like then I'd talk about instrumentation and be like, I did instrumentation and I got my ticket and it was all good. And, I liked doing the instrumentation, but I wasn't really passionate about it anymore. And it took me 5 years to finish my apprenticeship and blah, blah, blah. And I spent a bunch of money in schooling and all this stuff. And I finally got here and it was great for a bit, but now I just don't feel the same passion for it. I feel like I'm at a dead end. So that was just another angle. So those are like some angles you can take as far as targeting the oil field. Once you find the best ad copy or the best picture, both, that's when I would start playing with interests. Yeah, you can try interest right off the bat too, man. It's just something you got to split test. I quit getting very specific. The last time I actually used the word oil field for an interest was a long time ago. That wasn't working very well for me anymore. So switched it up. More so than using the actual interest to target. Like I said, I was using my ad copy and my video or my picture to actually target people in the oil field, right? find with audiobooks, I have to listen to them a couple times because my mind seems to wander pretty easily. And yeah, Chris, the only way I can actually listen to an audiobook and actually, retain any information is when I'm driving, and that's about it. I listen to audiobooks in the gym all the time. I don't even know why, but just because I hear people say like Balaj and that, they're like, Arab Jang, they're like, well, it's getting in your head subconsciously or something. But like for the most part, I don't hear a word when I'm in the gym and I'm listening to an audiobook, right? But you'll catch the odd, you'll get the odd key point that'll stand out even if you're not listening super closely. But I don't know, like a lot of people say, it's it's kind of getting subconsciously driven into your head. So it's probably not a bad thing. Like some people listen to audiobooks on the sleep or while they're sleeping on the plane too. So so you got too much on your mind then, Chris. No, I know what you mean. Sometimes it's a struggle. It usually takes me a little bit of time to actually get dialed in with, or to get kind of my mind settled out before I can actually start to hear the words of an audiobook or retain the information. But yeah, I guess it just takes practice, just like anything. Even like meditation and stuff. When I try and meditate, it usually takes me a while before my mind will slow down a bit, and I'll actually be able to focus on what I'm doing. Speaking of meditation, does anybody in here actually meditate? And if not, you probably should start. I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I start meditating for a few days at a time and then I kind of drop off. You should be trying to do it really often, but they said out of like, I believe it's the top 20 wealthiest people in the world, the one variable that's that that everybody has in common is that they all meditate. But if you're gonna meditate, I guess that's what I was gonna say. There's some music. It's called binaural music. It's supposed to get it's supposed to get you on a different vibration, a different wavelength, I guess. Your thoughts on a different frequency, so you can actually meditate. And yeah, you should type it in here. Let me just see if I can find. And you put some headphones on, and believe me, it helps out a lot. Okay, Alicia's gonna post the links for these I guess some binaural sounds. Or I don't know if I'd even call it music, but yeah, she'll post it in the link there. But yeah, if you listen to that, it definitely helps out a lot with some headphones on. It helps you actually, like I said, focus a little bit, concentrate. Yeah, the meditating technique in Awaken, absolutely nothing for me, Chris. I literally made it for the longest I made it was about 45 seconds the one day before I was completely asleep. But some people it worked. Not me. I think I have a sleeping disorder though, because I can just sleep anywhere, anytime. Yeah, anyways, Alicia's gonna post that in there. I don't know if you're gonna post it in the Limitless chat. She posted it in the Limitless chat. Maybe. Anyways, Alicia's gonna post that in the Limitless chat if people in here meditate or you're looking at getting into it, but not really sure what you're doing with it. There's also an app called Calm, which will literally walk you through meditating. But I've used that Calm app for a while as well, and it's good. There's actually different types of meditation you can do. There's a few other techniques, and like if you're trying to get rid of anxiety, things to help you sleep, all that kind of stuff. So it's really good. It's a really good app to use. But this other stuff, I find like I can get kind of a little more detached while listening to this binaural music. I I've heard a lot about it before, or even trying it, and it's really good. But yeah. Anybody else have some questions in here? Someone was asking me about book recommendations earlier today. I don't know. I can't remember who that was just now, but oh, Jeff, nice. I don't think he's even, oh, you are in here, Jeff. Did you still want some recommendations on some books there, bud? We could probably even just put them in, put a little list in that Limitless chat again as well. There's also in the back office, there's some book recommendations too. They're pretty much the standard ones that you've heard of, like The Magic, Compound Effect, Think and Grow Rich, Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, all those ones. But yeah, if you're looking for any that aren't, that haven't been listed by everybody, there's a couple other ones that I've read that are good that I don't think are in the back office, but just let me know if you still want them after this. 80-20. There's a couple that the 80-20 rule, I think, is a different book than 80-20. Let me see. Just hang on a sec. Where's that book? Yeah, I'm not sure. The 80-20 rule, I think, is a different book than 80-20 sales and marketing. Okay. Yeah, I've only started listening to the audio. That's probably going to be the next book I read. I'm still not 100% sure. I might read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I listen to the audio of that one as well, but I prefer, to read most of the time. So I think I'm going to try that one again, but I've heard really good things about 80-20 sales marketing. It's pretty much just like one of those go-to books. I know Cameron George recommends it. Jang recommends it. So it's got to have some value in there. It's literally just, it's all about a numbers game when you're reading that 80-20 sales and marketing. Like, just from what I've read or what I've heard in the audiobook, it just breaks down everything into that 80-20 ratio and kind of shows you how it's present everywhere in life almost, and how to use it to your advantage. But yeah, I'd read it for sure. Anybody else have some questions? 8:11. It's not too bad. Who is going to Vancouver in here? Cheryl, awesome. Yeah, there's sick. Yeah, there's gonna be if you guys live in Alberta or BC, you should definitely be going. Especially if you live in BC. And especially if you haven't been to an event before, because I'm pretty sure everybody in here is Canadian, and this might be the last chance you get to have I guess there might do one in Kelowna as well fairly soon, but this is the first one that's been in Canada as far as I know. There was like kind of a smaller get together in Kelowna a while back, but nothing like this. Like, this is going to be legit, this one. Just bailed on my friend's wedding for it. I told him this weekend. I've been putting it off forever, and then I was with him this weekend. I had to break the news. after a few beers. And what about the one in Edmonton? Yeah, that's something different, man. The one in Spruce Grove, that was just more so of a get together than anything. It was more so of a party, get to, be around each other, meet everybody. Like, yeah, meet and greet. There you go. That's a good word for it. There was some definite good value there, especially, just being able to meet a lot of the people like Blage and stuff like that. But this is going to be some next level shit, because there's going to be, that Caleb Maddox dude or whatever his name is going to be there. If you guys don't know him, I'm pretty sure that's his first name. You see his stuff all over Facebook all the time. He's supposed to be really good when it comes to the public speaking and motivational and things like that. And then just everybody's going to get up there. It's going to be really a lot of people there as well, so it's going to be pretty huge. So it should be awesome. And the yacht party is going to be sick too after that's all said and done. Be able to celebrate after that. But yeah, it's going to be pretty intense, I think, especially a lot of the training that they've been talking about, kind of our leaders chat and stuff like that. They're going to have some really good info. If there's something specific that you guys want me to, let them know about, that if there's enough people in here that have one specific thing that they want to know about, it's probably been something that's already going to be covered anyways. But if it's something that I see that hasn't been mentioned in our leadership chat yet, I'll tell them, see if somebody wants to actually touch on it. Obviously, depending on what it is, we'll kind of go from there. But if it's somebody depends what it's about, right? If it's on direct sales or something, then obviously Blage is probably going to be talking about it. If it's something strictly to do with ads, then I'm sure Cody's going to talk about it, right? But if there's something, that I see in here, I know a big thing was, which I was already asked, or I was also kind of requesting that they mention, because I know lots of people ask me about it, is what they're going to do about, or what they do about, GST, taxes, what the benefits are of starting your own company, and tax write-offs, things like that. So they're going to go into that. So that can be really huge, especially, most people should be eventually starting their own business and processing everything there. Just the tax write-offs alone are worth it. So they're going to touch on that. That's going to be a really good one, I think, because I don't think they've done anything like that yet. And Enagic exceptions to advertising product. I can ask Blage about that, see if he'll touch on that as well. And yeah, that would be a good one as well. Definitely. Another thing I'm going to actually talk to Blage about is strategies on processing your sales. It'll be kind of more high level stuff, I guess, but it'll be it'll be for people that are, once you get to the point where you're like 4A, when to buy another Ukon, things like that, when to buy another product, when to start processing sales for that. Once you hit 6A with that one, where to buy another lane or another ID. That's something I think would be really good. I know Peter had asked about it. Peter and Brianna asked me about it. Yeah, I've been talking to Blage for a while lately, or trying to get a hold of him for a bit lately. So about something else. So one step at a time. I'm going to ask him now. And I'll just mention that as well. Yeah. And that could be something good to touch on. Awareness on what not to do with Enagic to take the heat off gas. Yeah, I can talk to Blage about that as well and see if he only has a certain amount of time. I'm sure that he's probably got things pretty dialed in right at the moment, but if anybody likes to talk, it's Blage. I'm sure he'll just keep rambling on for a while, or take some more time up, and he'll do you can touch on that, yeah, because I know that's another confusing part for a lot of people too. So, yeah, so those are two things that I'll actually get them to touch on. Okay. I'll remember that. I seen somebody post an ad with an Enagic water bottle in their ad. Didn't think it was appropriate. Yeah, you can have an Enagic water bottle in your ad. Yeah, that's fine. That's not an issue. The big issue is saying is advertising the products, right, directly. That's where they have problems. I was just talking to Blaj today actually about some of this stuff. If you're going to advertise the product directly, you need to get confirmation, or you need to get approval basically for anything that you're going to say from Enagic. There's ways to go about it. There's a website. There's a website you can actually contact. I just found out today, called compliance@enagic.com. Yeah, you can have their stuff in your ads. That's no worries. But if you're going to sit here and say like, oh, this is Enagic, blah, 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 then this isn't just like strictly from Enagic, to not advertise their products directly. The thing with advertising their products directly is you need to be compliant with basically everything. You can't have anything in there that's incorrect. So there is, like I said, compliance@enagic.com. You can contact them if that's something that you're interested in doing, but just strictly based on all of the research and everything that people have done here, the results are better when you don't, and when you just allow the system and the sales funnel to do the work for you. If you're going to advertise, or if you're going to have like an Enagic water bottle in your hand and during your ad, and you're going to be like, yeah, thanks to Enagic, I was able to quit my job or something like that, or thanks to Enagic, they've been really generous and blah, blah, blah. Then what's going to happen half the time or more, someone's going to go on and they're going to Google Enagic immediately. And it doesn't matter if there's 10 good reviews. If there's one bad review, people will fucking bail immediately. Like, nobody cares about good reviews half the time. They'll literally, if they see one bad review, 9 good reviews won't mean shit to them anymore. So that's why I avoid doing anything like that. Everybody, goes and reads a review from so-and-so and blah, blah, they don't know what the fuck it is, or it's from the competition, or, it's something to avoid. The system's been set up strategically the way it is for a reason. If you really want to do something like advertise the products directly, you can contact compliance@enagic.com. Ask them. They could probably give you some, actual documentation that can show you exactly what you can and can't do. But yeah, as far as advertising the products, that's not what we do in Global Affiliate Zone. So I wouldn't do it. But if you're going to sit here and if you're going to do a go live or something, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, this is 9.5 pH and blah, 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 and these are the health benefits, then by all means do it. People do it all the time. Yeah, they have also trademarked things that you can't use without their permission. You can't say like, you can get in trouble apparently if you say, change your water, change your life, like in an advertisement or something like that. Again, they're not going to boot you out of Global Affiliate Zone or boot you out of Enagic or anything like that for making a mistake. Like if they find out about it, even if they did find out about it and they saw it, they would tell you to take it down. That's it. But obviously, if you continue to do things that are not in compliance with Enagic's policies, then they'll probably kick you out. But yeah. Another thing you can't do is you can't post a picture of your check or anything like that, especially with Enagic's. No, you can't do it with Enagic's name in it. You can probably get away with doing it if it doesn't say anything about Enagic in it on your check, if you have that part either not showing or whatever, right? But yeah, we still don't even recommend that you post checks or anything like that, especially not in an advertisement. I don't think you would ever get approved anyways, but a bank statement you can do. Apparently that's follows the rules. That's within the rules. If you have a bank statement, I don't even think they would approve that on an advertisement either. But if you put it, like if you say you sent it to somebody, a bank statement or like a deposit slip, and you went and deposited all your checks, by all means, give her. But yeah, sometimes it can backfire when you're posting a bunch of shit about, you know, how much you've deposited and things like that. Yeah. So anyways, if you guys have any more questions, another good video or another good place to get videos and stuff like that, which probably most of the newer people aren't aware of. And if you have a pen and paper or anything, write this down. It's at vimeo.com. So vimeo.com/global prosperity map. Fuck, I'll put it in here. vimeo.com/global prosperity movement. There's lots of good videos in there. Lots of good videos on the demonstrations, lots of good videos on the health benefits and things like that. So sometimes if you're looking for a video, let's say, or a clip of, you know, most of them are on YouTube anyways, but if you're looking for a clip that kind of explains some of the health benefits or things like that, you can just go through the Vimeo Global Prosperity Movement. There's usually a lot of really good stuff on there. There has been over the last while since I started, so you can check that out. Yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions, we'll call her a night here. I typed it in the chat. Vimeo.com/global prosperity movement. So yeah, that's a good place to check. But yeah, I will talk to Balaj about possibly, you know, going over the, you know, some of the Enagic policies and what we can get away with and not get away with, as well as how to kind of strategically place your sales and things like that as well. Yeah. I will also just take this here so that people who aren't here can get at it. Put it right in the Limitless chat. There you go. All right, guys. Well, if nobody has any other questions, then say we'll call it a day and see you on, I don't know, we're going to probably look at doing Sunday or Monday. Or fuck. What, are we going to the island this Sunday? No, next one? Next Sunday? Okay. So yeah, this Sunday. I'll also put it in here again. I think Monday might work better for myself and for, you know, everybody else. Sunday's kind of like a chill day, so lots of people are either doing things with their family or they're traveling back from wherever they were for the weekend, right? Which is usually my case. But anyways, guys, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll let you go. I'll post the replay chat or the replay in the Limitless chat. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you. See you later.